want to just give an update on where we are with the monitors and stuff?
We have a PO into the company, they're gonna schedule a technician to come out and look at it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
No, our clock's 2 minutes slow. Just saying.
Was it 4 till? Is that the correct time, 3 till?
Yeah.
That's what my phone says.
So what are 30-year rates now?
No points, 2 7/8. Yeah. Just gotta do some points. You could probably save money over what you. See? At that rate, I know. Do it all the time. That's easy.
Or would do 2 and 7/8 and put it in your savings account.
You're mean. Me too.
Ribbon cutting, do we want to try to live stream that?
Did a little tip for a while. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do it.
I mean, I thought it might be nice.
I did that one.
Oh, it's nice to have a phone in that too.
I don't think I've ever seen it on here.
Well, I don't know, should I request it formally through Roxanne? Okay, yeah, we're fine, yeah.
Hopefully, you don't.
I know.
Nebraska.
Same position.
I remember buying a house. Phoenix,
Yep, I bought my first house in '85. Yeah. It was 10%. After they came down.
You guys are really old, I was like,
Well,
Good to go.
not yet.
Administrator emeritus.
6 o'clock, get it. Now you get
Call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. Mr. Oster, will you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you much. Roll call, please.
Oh, that's me. Mr. McGivens.
Present.
Ms. Kies.
President?
Mr. Ulrich.
Here.
Mr. Osterly, I'm here. Mr. Ariano. Absent.
Thank you. Approval of minutes from last meeting, please. Do we have any? Okay. We need to do I'd like approval of the agenda, please. I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. McGivens.
Yes.
Oh, you're last, I'm sorry. Ms. Kies.
Yeah.
Mr. Ulrich.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Pass.
Motion passes, thank you. Okay. We have some call to the public. I have 3 to read, and we have a gentleman here with us this evening.
Well, this is a nice surprise.
Okay. We are grateful to the voters that showed their support with a yes vote for the Continental Elementary School override. This override passed with a higher margin than previous overrides. It shows that we have the support from many in our community in helping Continental deliver the best education possible. Congratulations to Kelly Allen for her win on the school board seat. Our community heard our needs and voted in a parent who cares about our children, teachers, and the school. She will be a great asset to the board with the continued school improvement efforts. Ruth Amadeus. Thank you. Thank you to all those who supported the Continental School override, especially those on the override committee, both parents and community members who dedicated countless hours of their time to a cause they believe in. Some may have doubted that we had the support, but I'm grateful to the voters of Green Valley who clearly value public education and support our local school despite the many efforts both locally and nationally to undermine it. I understand the override passed with the greatest margin in its history. Congratulations to new school board member Kelly Allen and to Drew, Shelley, and Richard for being reelected to another term. We value your commitment to this great little school and our community. To all the Continental teachers, students, and staff, especially in this difficult time, we're so proud to support you. Go Colts. Go Colts. Julie Salute. Thank you. Dear Governing Board, I'm an employee of Continental School and a parent of a Continental kindergarten student. I'm writing today to urge you to take the students and staff's health into consideration. In the past month, we have closed down the second grade classroom, an entire preschool, and our cafeteria. It's very concerning that our school remains open while staff and students continue to contract COVID-19. We're putting our community at risk by remaining open. I ask you to please consider staff, student, and the community's health into consideration. Respectfully, Clarissa Moon. Thank you. Mr. Peppers? Yes, sir. Yes.
Front and center. Is that okay up here?
Right up here. 3 minutes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Yes, we do. My name is Carew Peppers. I'm the proud parent of my son who graduated from here last year, moved on to Walden. I am the founder of National Thank You Letter Day, where 3 years ago we actually put together the world's largest thank you letter, handwritten thank you letter with the help of our wonderful superintendents and all those concerned. And what do you do with a thank you letter? You actually have to send it. So this last year we sent it in the world's largest envelope, world's largest stamp, again to celebrate National Thank You Letter Day. And this year, our school decided to celebrate by creating thank you letter videos in which kids would actually write out a thank you letter, videotape it, and then send it off to the heroes of 2020, anyone local in our community who helped us through the pandemic. So that could be anyone from first responders to delivery people to grocery clerks to parents and guests who teachers. That's right. So wonderfully enough, Green Valley News did an article in November 15th, and it was, it's so easy to say thank you. You can pass that on down.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was really nice, and we have posters for how you say thank you. This is National Thank You Letter Day. For those of you who haven't approached the board here. Oh, look at that, that tongue doesn't work. So it's in there, there you go. All right. So that was a wonderful success. We got a number of interviews. We were able to put Continental School on the map once again nationally and regionally. So whenever I get the chance to shout it out, I shout it out big and strong. Lastly, or second to last, we've the 100-year Continental Celebration Plaza is finally finished. This is where all the gray bricks go out there. That was my son's Eagle project. He's as happy as I am that it's finished. We're going to have a ribbon cutting this coming up Wednesday. The newspaper will be there to document that, and we're going to have some kids
What
out
time?
there at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So for those of you that can get out of work and come on over, that would be great. And as part of that, we're now opening that up. It's going to be a year-to-year fundraiser for the Civics Club to raise money for the Washington DC trip. So the newspaper will have an article concerning the reopening of the fundraising for the local community. It's open first to the graduating class for a week, and then it opens up to the general public to get money for this year's upcoming Washington DC trip. Lastly, we have all this thanks going to all the voting public and whatnot, but I want to thank the board personally, Profiles and Courage, because why you guys sent this override and you started the whole process. So thank you so much. As a parent who cares about this school, as a community member, I really appreciate what you did. And you started the whole ball rolling, and I can't wait for the next one. No, I can't. Thank you so much. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
you can go pound those rebar yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Carew Peppers, to help us continue to spread kindness and to thank you, we have our Ben's Bells kindness points that say, thank you for sharing your kindness, pass it on. So in the back, they say Continental ESD spreading kindness. So I'm gonna give you two, and if you're at the grocery store or wherever you are and you wanna spread kindness and get some more great publicity for Continental, we really appreciate all
Well,
your help.
thank you, can I?
Thank you, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Bless you.
Will the board please join me up there? We're gonna thank our Rotary.
And at this time, we'd like to bring Ms. Charlotte Gates up for a formal thank you for everything that Rotary has done for us at Continental and continues to do. So we really wanted to officially thank you for supporting us and the outdoor music park. And come on up here, there's a hot tub so we can, up in the front. Want to get a picture? Oh, sorry, talking too soon. Okay. I even came with bells on. Yay, you did.
Wow.
I can see
Yay.
it.
So we would like to present you with the Benz bell.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh, my
Yes,
gosh.
and in the back it says Continental ESD spreading
Oh.
kindness, and you know how
Oh,
special
that
these
means
bells
yes.
are, so we
Thank
want
you
you to
so
have
much.
one.
Thank you.
And we are also gonna give you some kindness coins, so you can have one, Gary can have one, and you can give one to somebody else, so you can catch people being kind this holiday season. But
Oh,
we really appreciate
Thank you all so much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Okay, Liz, you're up.
Yes. So I just added a few more, the pictures that I had last time of us with our project, and we'll update our project for our end of year grant report on our musical playground. Also, our Continental Foundation donor, Sawaro. So pieces that were purchased last year at our Sweetheart Gala were added during Thanksgiving break. So we want to thank Legacy Smiles, the Osterby family, the Ariano family, Bill McNary, and myself. I got my little hummingbird on there.
You did.
Sponsors and supporters are displayed with pride and appreciation there in the front. So we are doing we're gonna do a virtual Sweetheart Gala, so we'll be offering some silent auction items again. So I'm sure we will have owls and hummingbirds up for auction for this year in February as well, so stay tuned. Okay, our final election results. So I'm sure you've already seen them, but again, we'd like to welcome our newly elected board member, Kelly Allen. She has a kindergartner that's enrolled in our school and 2 students who have come through Continental who are in high school now. And she grew up in a family of educators, so we're looking forward to her participation and contribution to our board. Final override election numbers, we had 12,517 votes and 7,474 votes. Passed by 5,043 votes, which was very nice to see, because I did mention to you that I did go when they were hand counting the ballots, and it was very, very stressful. And I don't know that I could have done 3 straight days of 6 hours of listening to them say no, no, yes, yes, no, yes. So I was very pleased with the final outcome. Again, a testament to our parent and community support that we knew we'd be advocating for our students, staff, and programs. And a huge thank you to our override committee members as well. Governing board minutes, just an update. The October and November audio minutes are on our website. If you go to administration, then governing board, under board agendas, the link will take you to the audio. Ms. Jenna Rojas will be transcribing the minutes that will be submitted for final approval at our January 11th board meeting. Next, our COVID-19 school update. So it is still the recommendation of Dr. Garcia and Dr. Cullen from Pima County Health to keep students in school under the hybrid model. There's still, we never went to hybrid because we do have smaller class sizes and we have larger classrooms than average schools do, which allow us to be able to still keep our students 6 feet apart. So we will continue to stay the course as long as we can. I don't think that they will mandate us having to go hybrid since we've been in person, but if for some reason things change, we may have to go to hybrid, but we're not anticipating that at this time. And the new CDC guidelines for quarantine and isolation are being shortened, so that will definitely help us with the number of people, staff and students that we have quarantined. So I put the information in there for you, and I will also share this Google Doc with you at the end, since I know that you don't get it beforehand. Okay, so it's gonna be shortening to 10 days. Quarantine can end after 10 days without testing, and if no symptoms have been reported during the daily monitoring. Also, when diagnostic testing resources are sufficient and available, then the quarantine can end after day 7 of a negative test result. So what it was before is, if you were quarantined and you tested negative, you still couldn't come to school. You weren't allowed, a negative test wouldn't allow you to be out of quarantine. Now this will allow us to bring back people who have tested negative, even if it's within that 14-day quarantine designation. Okay, and I just want to commend Maureen, Mrs. Cuevas, Mr. Nathan, but we have been working closely with Pima County Health, and we, we're steps ahead of them. Pima County Health is so busy that we have been able to control the spread here at our school by acting immediately and by not waiting 2 or 3 hours till we hear from Pima County Health, because we already know what the procedures are and what needs to happen. And our parents have been very supportive of calling, complying, reporting, and coming to pick up their students, because they do understand we have a zero tolerance for any type of illness. So I did send out the Pima County mask mandate, was sent to parents and staff last Monday. And I know you've been inundated with emails and blank copies from Mrs. Cuevas, because every time she sends it out, we just blank copy the board, so you'll be able to see what we're sending out to our parents. I only received one parent call concerned with the fact that students were gonna have to be wearing masks at their desks, although they're 6 feet apart. Our students have been wearing their masks because they choose to and they want to, and the students, when we met with student advisory, were, telling us, please don't send us home, and I just keep reiterating, we're trying to stay the course. If you help us keep your mask and keep safe, wash your hands, we'll be okay. So just an update, today we had 23 students who were absent due to quarantine, and there was a total of 62 kids absent. So only 23 of the 62 were due to quarantine or isolation. So the attendance rate is 89%, and our absenteeism rate is 10%, which is still really, really good. If you remember receiving information from Sabarita, they had 56% attendance, so our students are doing well. Our staff quarantine, so we had 14 students out today, 9 out of the 14 were due to quarantine and isolation. We have a total of 92 employees, so we have an 84.7% attendance rate. 24 staff members have generated 121 days of quarantine and isolation. So of the days they've had to quarantine and isolate, those are the 24 have been affected of our 92 employees. And then I sent an update to you today on food service that is not reflected in this data. So again, as long as we can continue to provide substitute coverage for staff needing to be quarantined or isolated, we will keep students in school. And so I really want to thank our leadership team, because we've all been in kindergarten, we've all been in the food service line, we've been kindergarten snack time, and we've played librarian, so I think everybody has truly stepped in to make sure that we can keep kids in school and that teachers are still getting their planning time, which is important to keep that that going as well. Our enrollment update, so this slide we updated, and so you can see at the bottom right-hand side, we're down 49 students from the end of year last year at this time. So we really are doing well. We are definitely not like other districts who have lost hundreds of students.
Really?
Okay, our enrollment stabilization grant, so we're excited to announce that we received $129,000 from the enrollment stabilization grant, which was probably triple what we thought we were going to receive. So this allowed us to free up funds in our M&O for additional needs throughout the year. And to also cover additional expenses for virtual instruction second semester. So we're estimating about $18,000 for courses and teacher stipends for students that will remain virtual second semester, that have indicated they'll remain virtual. And so here you see that we currently have 34 students that have indicated they wish to remain online for second semester. 6 kindergartners, 5 first graders, 3 second graders, 1 third grader. We have 0 fourth graders and 3 fifth graders, 4 sixth graders, 5 seventh, and 7 eighth graders. So with the small numbers per grade level, our kindergarten through 5th grade students will move to the Adventum online Cabot learning platform, and our 6th through 8th grade students will move to the Adventum online courseware platform for second semester. Once they're enrolled, they will remain digital for the remainder of the semester. We definitely have to reinforce to parents they cannot come back, because that's gonna, we're gonna plan for these 34 students, and we're gonna pay for them to be on this platform, so we're gonna require that they stay. And I currently have our virtual teachers are sending emails to their parents to say, it is our understanding that you will be sending your child to school in January, because we do have 105 students that are virtual now. Of those 105, 34 will remain online, and the rest are, we're anticipating will return. So again, the students will receive all the instructions and lessons through the Adventum Calvert Learning and online courseware platforms. Our teaching staff will be the teacher of record. They'll monitor and provide any assistance with lessons if needed, but it will not be your traditional videos of your teachers doing lessons and kids seeing their online normal continental teacher. So this is an online course. All resources needed for the courses are provided through the platform. Students and parents are expected to self-pace and monitor themselves as they complete the lessons. And we are having a parent Zoom meeting this Wednesday at 4:30 with those 34 parents to explain what it'll look like for January. So as we mentioned at our last meeting, Albert and I have been working with our Better Together Coalition and to connect our students. We currently have 3 families who have returned the consent form, so we're still waiting. Mr. Brett Bonner and I are going to be on the Around the Cracker Barrel show, the radio station. It's not really a show, the radio station. On December 18th to discuss the participation in the Connect Our Students initiative, and there will be an article in Green Valley News as well in January. Okay. So now, our math RFP and curriculum adoption timeline. So you can see here on November 9th, we sent out an RFP. We've received responses to the RFP, and on the next slide, you'll see who has responded to the RFP. We sat with the curriculum committee and we talked about what programs do we want to explore and look at. We did look at the programs that were also listed in the top 25 schools when we did that study to see what people were using, what sites were using. Next Wednesday, this Wednesday actually, at 3:15, the curriculum committee will review the responses. So if someone from the board would like to be part of the math review committee, please let me know. And I think Ms. Price, maybe, we had talked about it before, so it still fits into your schedule.
Is that this Wednesday?
This Wednesday. Yes.
I can't do it this Wednesday.
Okay, so what will happen though, in January, the presentations, so we'll narrow it down with the committee on Wednesday on the top 2 or 3 companies that we want to pursue. And then in January, the companies will do presentations to, there'll be Zoom presentations also that you can participate in from home, but they'll present to our board, our parent advisory, and our committee, our staff committee. Our plan is to, in February and March, we'll display the curriculum for 60 days for public to view. And then April, we'll be recommending and requesting board approval for the adopted material. And in May through July, we'll begin planning our professional development with implementation in August. On the other slide, you'll see we have Houghton Mifflin, Harcourt. They are the current vendors of GoMath, which we are using, and their new curriculum is called Into Math. McGraw-Hill has Reveal Math. Curriculum and Associates has Ready Math. And then we have Illustrative Mathematics, who also responded to the RFP. And we've spent $85,000 the last 5 years on GoMath curriculum, so I just wanted to give you a ballpark figure. They will be sending in quotes as well, which the committee will be reviewing on Wednesday to see what's doable.
Is that each year?
No, this was a total, so it typically costs about 40 to 50,000 year one. And then a lot of companies, if you sign a 3-year contract, then, you know, they give you a break for the following next 2 years, so the upfront cost may be a little bit more. And one thing that was real difficult just with GoMath was we tried to transition our teachers into the digital workbooks rather than the hard copy workbooks. And right when we had agreed that we would do it for this year is when we ended up having to shut down with COVID, and we ended up providing the books for the kids again to take home. Okay. So again, as a reminder, this is not the opportunity for questions or discussions. If you would like me to put anything on the January board or need clarification, please feel free to call me. And just want to remind everyone to keep calm and sail on. And it's hard to believe that it's already Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2021. It's crazy. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Principal's report.
Mr. Chair, while we're pulling that up, can we get a clarification? What is average attendance for students and teachers? Like, what's a benchmark?
92% is usually what districts strive for.
And what about the teachers?
The same. 95%. We really do strive for 95% for students and staff each year. And we've always been between, 89 and 92.
So it's really not any different?
No.
Okay, so here's the principal's report. I'm sorry. This is the wrong principal's report.
While she's getting that up, just wanted to say, what Mr. Packard said, the ribbon cutting for the Celebration Plaza is Wednesday. We are canceling our staff holiday potluck. The Sunshine Committee decided not to have it. There is an error on our early release. We do not have early release on December 16th. Early release is on Friday, is a half day for students on that last Veterans Day. And again, I just wanted to say a huge shout out to the Community Food Bank for helping us out the next 2 days in absence of our food service staff. I called them this morning and we've already received 2 days worth of food for the students for breakfast and lunch.
Thank you so much.
So, thank you.
All right, thank you. So I'd like to start my principal's report showcasing instruction around our school. So we'll start with 8th grade science. Our teachers have been, I know I had mentioned a few months back that our teachers are posting learning targets and essential questions. So this learning target in 8th grade science is we will use zinc and hydrochloric acid to generate elemental hydrogen. We will test for the presence of hydrogen using a combustion test. And this was Mr. Kratzer's 8th grade science class. They had a lot of fun. Many inquiries that came up, things that came up in this lesson in regards to them working with the chemical formulas and equations that they had. They were using different types of chemicals and wanted to see how the different chemicals would combust even when it wasn't in the plans for that day. And Mr. Kratzer brought to life their questions and made them into a reality so they could see what would happen. Physical education. Do you all know what they're learning, these 6th graders? Yes.
Pickleball?
It's pickleball.
I want to learn.
They are learning about pickleball, and they have their learning targets. Students can recall forehand techniques and cues. Student can hit 5 forehands to their partner from partner soft tosses. Skills, student can hit 5 forehands back over the net for partners tosses and so forth. And then they went over their forehand hitting techniques, how they're supposed to use their paddles, their ready positions. So it was they accomplished quite a bit in just the first 15 minutes of this lesson. They asked many questions and Coach Sue Williams was there to support them. The students were supporting one another, and that was the unit they had been working on. And then we have some 2nd grade math, the learning targets. I can create and label a bar graph. Essential question, why are graphs important? The students were able to collaborate across with their partners from across at their desks and come up with data. You'll see some examples towards the end of class, and this is how our teacher also can assess. She walks around and monitors, as many of our teachers do, if students are understanding the learning targets and the objectives at hand, to be able to walk around and help them with any questions that they have. But the students were really excited to share with their favorite Thanksgiving dishes. And they also talked about the importance of graphs. Many of them were saying, we use this for voting. You know, they heard a lot. This was an election year, so they were learning a lot about that and talking about voting and elections. And then, of course, their favorite topic, which is food and desserts. 8th grade general music class, learning targets were to generalize and conceptualize artistic ideas and work, and to develop and refine artistic work for presentation. The essential question posed to these students was, how can I create and refine a composition through the collaborative recording process? It was so amazing to see this lesson. They are, as you can see in the picture to the right, they were connecting keyboards and using applications to be able to record their work. And then they were using an application where they could collaborate with a team of people from various areas sitting in the classroom, be able to create work together, and then check on each other and give each other feedback based on their recorded compositions. They were utilizing Google Classroom as well. And in real time, Mr. Ferguson, as well as many of our teachers, when you walk around and you see their lessons, is able to right away put links to help them if they need to go back into their Google Classroom to refer to. In this case, they were trying to remember certain rules for beats. and that they're making, and Mr. Ferguson put a review link for them right away so they could refer to it during the lesson and through their independent work. They were having so much fun. At one point, I'm not gonna forget, I heard the students say, "Today is a great day for learning." They yelled it really loud. And they're really excited. They were asking, how could we get these types of keyboards? Can we use these at home? If we could order these? So they're having a lot of fun with creating music and sharing it with one another. 7th grade social studies, they're learning about the Revolutionary War, the war for freedom, taking notes, and the learning targets where students would be able to track the technological impact on culture. They'll spiral back to what they've studied, they'll reinforce prior knowledge, and they'll be able to put U.S. history in chronological order for the time period studied. 2 students had worked on this, and they used it as an example in this lesson for social studies. And they had great conversations of discussion. The students were learning how to create timelines, and then they'll be able to utilize their timelines to create an essay. And it's all done in their own words, based off of their own memory, and at times too, they can also create pictures for the timelines. So that's where we're at with that. And I just wanted to share that with you because it's a testament to being in school right now and being able to collaborate and all of the hard work our students are doing and our teachers are doing to make sure that the learning is challenging and rigorous. Next up, I wanted to discuss data binders. We have purchased data binders for all students kinder through 8th grade. Each student in the school will receive one. It will have the following, but not limited to: student math growth testing progress reports, student goal setting worksheets, daily math skills progress, and logs of missing work. We also have some other ideas that we've had the teachers brainstorming how they would want to create this binder, because in a way it's going to be a learning portfolio for our students. Also, when we have parent-teacher conferences, they'll be able to show their parents what their goals are, what they're setting. Some of our teachers brought up they would like to have their students put a piece of work or pieces of work per subject that they're proud of, and be able to refer back throughout the school year from where they started and where they ended. But it's a way to also have the students be excited to set those goals for themselves and hold themselves accountable, and be excited to show their work and their progress. This is just an example of one of the reports that would be in it, which is the student progress report. And when we have our next testing, benchmark 2, which will start taking place the week of January 25th, we'll start seeing their growth from this first benchmark to the second benchmark. And this is a student goal setting worksheet that would be in the binder. The teachers would go over these with the students. They would write down their action plan, what their goal is, and it also comes with a copy for them to take home with their parents, so they can go over it with their parents, and the teacher signs it, the student signs it, and the parents sign it, and it would go in their binders. An update on the data analysis tools. We had a meeting with our accounts manager for NWA Map Growth. The RIT score, we discussed the RIT score last board meeting. It's a process for our K-8 environment, and it correlates best for student growth as opposed to the Six Sigma, which I know we had discussed at the last meeting, so I did look into it, which is the data-driven approach, and it uses statistical methodology to helps lead to defect and waste reduction, improvement in profits, employee morale, and quality of products or services. But map growth would be best utilized because it's a scale that helps us in measuring and comparing academic growth. Specifically, scale measures level and academic difficulty. So the RIT scale extends equally across all grades, making it possible to compare a student's score at various points throughout his or her education. What does a specific RIT score mean? It represents the level where students are ready to learn, also known as the zone of proximal development. The test finds that level by pinpointing where a student would just as likely answer incorrectly as correctly, the point between knowing and not knowing answers. So I just want to show a quick little clip.
With the right insight, you can shape the future. I love to teach and watch my students grow. As a teacher, I would like to tell you about how I use MAP from NWEA to benefit our students and our school. Beginning 2 years ago, our school district implemented the Measures of Academic Progress, or MAP. Now I rely on MAP to assess each of my students' unique needs and to chart their growth. What's more, MAP helps me prepare for the important state test. Let's look at each of these benefits, starting with assessment of each student's needs. A MAP assessment challenges every student. As the student responds correctly or incorrectly, the test items adjust in difficulty. If an answer is correct, the next question is harder. If an answer is incorrect, the next question is easier. In this way, I'll learn exactly where each student currently performs. That's an important difference from traditional tests, which only tell me whether a student is at, above, or below their grade level. With MAP assessments, I'll see just how far above or below my students are performing. And knowing that, I can target curriculum to their specific needs. All students grow at different rates, and MAP enables me to compare their growth to millions of other students. Here's what makes it possible. MAP assessments use the RIT scale, or RIT. This scale is like a yardstick with equal units across the scale. Just like a yardstick shows changes in student height, the RIT scale shows me changes in student academic growth. As the school year progresses, I'll use the RIT scale to monitor that growth, knowing that every student grows at a different rate. For comparison, I can also rely on the norms data built into MAP. Based on millions of test item responses and over 30 years of research, the norms data give me a reference point as I assess each student's unique growth rate. As my students progress through the school year, I need to know how prepared they are for the state test. Again, MAP has the answers. NWEA researchers correlate the RIT scale with state tests for both reading and mathematics. This research makes it possible to project how well my students would perform, so I can make adjustments to boost their proficiency. So now you know how MAP helps our students.
So I just wanted to, because we're all learning about MAP growth, and in the coming, hopefully next month, we have a 4-hour, it'll be over 2 sessions, it'll be 2 2-hour sessions for our staff and for all of us, and I would let you know when it is so that you could take part in it if you have the time to do so, but it's going to go over all of the data analysis tools, the RIT scores, and more information as we move forward with this new program, so that our teachers know when we're going over the data with our students and with our parents as well, and we're all very clear. Testing updates, the NWEA MAP growth testing window is closed for this first benchmark. Testing data has been uploaded to Linkit for a more detailed analysis report. Upcoming testing that will be taking place is dual language students will be taking the MAP growth Spanish reading test. At our January board meeting, we will review the MAP growth benchmark number 1 overall data. And January 25th, our MAP growth benchmark testing 2 will begin. Have any questions? And just, I want to say happy holidays to all of our students, staff, families, board members, and our Continental community. And I really want to thank parents, I'll be reaching out to them individually, that came and surprised us. They came on a weekend and decorated the cafeteria. They wanted to lift the spirits of our students. The whole entire cafeteria has probably about 30 Christmas trees, lights, sleighs, and little reindeer that light up. And it was a big surprise for not just our students, but for all of us. And the love that we have from our parents, it's extremely moving, and from our community, that they would take time out to do this just because they want to show love for our school. So I really want to thank them for that. And happy holidays to all of you.
Okay, thank you very much. We were consent agenda, please. I want to take a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll move we approve the December 7th consent agenda.
Second?
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
In the voucher area. I know it's $2,700 approximately for COVID supplies, and another almost $12,000 for air purifier. Is there any CARES money left that could cover those?
So what we did is we used the CARES money to free up M&O money.
Okay.
So we used the CARES money to pay for salaries and benefits for Ms. Cuevas and Mr. Latham while they were working on our mitigation plan. So that freed up all that money, which is why those purchases are now able to come out of our M&O account.
Okay. Lastly, $18,735 for reimbursement for Pima County for elections. Given the debacle of the voting machines and the staff time that our superintendent had to invest to go observe the process, can we get a rebate on any of that?
Pima County is just like everybody else. Their prices are set no matter how incompetent their process is.
Mr. President, that's my question.
Thank you, sir, I appreciate that. Further questions? Okay, good. Roll call, please.
Ms. Geis.
Yes.
Mr. Osterly, yes. Mr. Ulrich.
Yes.
And Mr. McGinn.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes. Unfinished business. Okay. 11A, first semester payment of 301 funds.
So again, this is motion for approval of our first semester payment of 301 funds. Like we mentioned before, our committee has extensive documentation of ensuring that teachers comply with all the requirements of the categories in order to earn their first payment.
Entertain a motion, please, for first payment of 301.
I'll move that we approve the first payment of 301 funds.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second, any discussion?
Questions? Was this the total amount that the district has received for Prop 301 for this payment?
This is, so what we did, we took the budgeted amount, how much we were supposed to be getting from the state, and this is half of those amounts.
Okay. I understand that in the account 013, in the proposition, or 011 is for basic pay, 02 is performance pay, and 013 is for actually numerous things.
Yes.
One of which can certainly be a salary. But there's also a whole bunch of other things that 013 can go for. I mean, including teacher development, assessment intervention, which would be like summer school and some of those sorts of things. Is there any need to allocate some 301 money for those purposes rather than it all going into salaries?
That is not actually a question for me, sir. That's actually a question for you.
Well, I guess
I mean, to be perfect, because the board sets where that payment goes to. And if you would like, I mean, it's set for this year, but you can bring this up as an agenda item later on.
Okay, that's an excellent point. I
And
appreciate
have
that.
that discussion about Fund 13 for the upcoming school year.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you, you're right. It is our responsibility.
So it appears that we kind of gave everybody the same thing.
The information that we received was that everybody had earned 100%. There were 2 teachers who chose not to participate within the 301 program this year.
So then all the teachers performed equally. There were no high-performing teachers.
So the way we base 301 is with their participation on their committees. So we have our emergency committee, we have our curriculum committee, so they meet monthly. So we meet monthly with category A committees, which are curriculum and admin advisory, the child support committee, so we have those, and then they have to attend monthly meetings for their category B. So all of them are, it really is school functions and operations.
So it's really not performance.
It's
attendance.
Yes.
So the 301 money at Continental is being used for attendance and not performance.
So there is a performance pay component within 301, that is Fund 12.
Right.
Okay, and that is a one-time payout at the end of the year. And there are specific guidelines in order to receive 100%. And what the 301, I don't have in front of me, so I can't, I'm not even going to begin to guess at what it says. You know, but there are certain components within the Fund 12 and the 301 plan that each teacher has to make to get 100% of that performance piece.
And that
So
one
there-
is tied into the evaluation system, that portion of the fund.
That's the end of the school year.
For the evaluation.
Superintendent Rico, where do we, and I understand that's something we're really not going to address until the year-end performance pay, and that is the 012, I guess.
Yes.
In there, but it says that on the performance pay, there is a system in place, and it was approved at a public meeting of this board, as far as how that performance pay is allocated, and it's based on like 12 factors. Where do I find the Continental policy on that? I tried to hunt for it on the website, and I went into the policy section, and all there is in there is ASBA policies. I don't know where Continental's is.
Okay. I will dig it up because it's been the same, it was established prior to my arrival 4 years
Okay.
ago, so I'll go back and hunt it down
Okay.
and go through some records to
Thank you.
get that information.
Further discussion? Great.
All right, Ms. Geis.
Yes.
Mr. Overy.
Yes?
Mr. Osterler, yes. And Mr. McGinn.
Yes. Motion passes, thank you. Request for after-school ELL tutoring. Ms. Zabel.
Okay, so this is a request for us to provide some tier 3 intervention for our ALL students. We are going to be audited with our ELL students this next semester, so in preparation for the audit, we just want to make sure that we can target these ELL students with a little bit more guided attention from Ms. Sable.
I'll move that we approve Ms. Sabo for the ELL tutoring.
Second?
Motion and a second, discussion please. Okay.
All right. Roll call. Ms. Geis?
Yes.
Mr. Overy?
Yes.
Mr. Osterler, yes. And Mr. McGinn.
Yes, thank you, motion passes. Minimum wage increase to $12.15.
So here we have 2 employees that this affects. So in order to comply with the minimum wage increase of $12.15 by January 1st, 2021.
I move to approve minimum wage increase to $12.15, beginning January 1.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
I do have a discussion. I remember when it went from like $10 to $12 a few years ago. And this is just another unfunded government mandate that I know 15 cents isn't going to make or break us, but the last time, just for the record, it cost us like $30,000 or $40,000
At least.
that was unfunded. Just, I don't know, just had to vent that out, I guess. I'm sorry, but this one probably is what, 1,000 or so?
It's about that.
Minimal, yeah.
It's
Okay.
not,
Is this the last of the?
no, every year from here on out, it is the cost of living indicator. Or the, there's two different ways. It's either this consumer price index or cost of living, whichever is the least. So with this one, we came in, I forget what the percentage was. I don't remember it off the top of my head,
Okay.
but it only came in at a 15-cent raise. So from here on out, every January, it'll be the lesser of those two indicators.
To a maximum of $15, right?
Yes, I believe that was part of that legislation. I would have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it said.
It was a ballot initiative. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the elections have consequences.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call please.
All right, Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Osterler, yes. Mr. Overy?
Yes.
Mr. McKibben?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, motion passes. Approval of FY '21 budget revision number 1. Sure.
Yeah, so if, Ms. Davis, could you pull that up? I do have to make a notation on this. On this cover page that you were given, I have had to make an adjustment. I thought the board meeting for this was gonna be December 14th. So in the documents that you'll be signing today, that will actually say December 7th. So you have my apologies for that. I either forgot or just completely missed it. But that is corrected on the versions that you will be signing today. That is the only change within the budget forms from what you were given. So I just wanted to start off with that and my sincerest of apologies. So if Ms. Cuevas can go to the next page. Oh, 2 pages. I forgot about that. Go there. Yep. So this budget here that is in front of you today is more aligned with what is actually within our accounting system. One thing that you will notice is that our budget from what we are revising to today, from what you approved in July as our adopted, is about, and I'm just gonna round the number, it's about $179,000 light. I was gonna bring this to you in February, because if you remember right, when I had my one-on-ones with you, I told you that I was gonna bring a budget revision to you early. But December is when, or late November is when ADE sends out their notices for districts who have to do a December revision. So I waited until that came out. What ADE calculated versus what was proposed to you at the beginning of back in June and then again in July, there's a difference of $179,000. That being said, we are currently sitting with just over $300,000 left unencumbered, which means it's just sitting there waiting for a place to call home. Okay, and that does not include the enrollment stabilization grant funds that we have, which will free up another $129,000. So financially, as a district, we are looking fairly well right at that halfway point of the year. So you will see on this page, as I said, those numbers more accurately reflect what is in our accounting system. A couple pages down, you'll find the classroom site fund, which is also now aligned with what is within our accounting system. That's it. So this is the salary, and all this is the salaries and benefits for teachers out of Prop 301. So the 301 payments that you made were actually based more on this revision than they were of anything else. Other than that, those are the only 2 areas that are really changed. The M&O portion back on page 3 is where we had to remove that $179,000 from. But again, as I stated, that now accurately reflects what is in our accounting data. And I will open it up to the board for any questions about the revision.
Is this caused by like a change in the weighting formula?
So generally so ADE allows you a percentage to be off from them before they require you to do one. Generally, when you're putting together your proposed and adopted budget, you do not include carryover funds because you have what's called an encumbrance period, which lasts into September. Okay, which is paying bills from the previous year, in the previous year with funds from the previous year. So, in the budget that was proposed to you, the carryover amount was there. It didn't exactly correlate with what ADE said. But, so there's slight changes in ADM, slight changes in weighted ADM for our SPED students as far as number of students in each category. So there's a lot of small factors that factored into it.
Okay. Will you be adding back in for, as a revenue source, the enrollment stabilization money that's coming in? Does that
No,
affect the budget?
it won't be an add-in. And I'm not sure what you mean by add-in, but let me answer my question.
I mean, just added to revenue since it
Yeah, well, so it'll become a revenue within the enrollment stabilization grant. It'll become Fund 328. What we will do, we will journal entry salaries and benefits out of M&O into the enrollment stabilization grant. One of the things that the enrollment stabilization grant allows us to do is they assume $500 per student as a COVID expense. So I went through, I did the math. I believe it's like $177 and change per student. When I add in the benefits, I spend all but $4.66 of the enrollment stabilization grant. Yep, I'm good unless you guys have any other questions. But those are the only two areas that were any changes to the budget that you had seen in July have been made.
Thank you, sir. Entertain a motion, please.
I'll move to approve the budget revision.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Do we have to make a motion about the budget we passed?
No, there's nothing needed with the previous one.
Okay, so this is just.
This is just an approval of a budget revision number one.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Overy,
Yes.
Ms. Kais,
Yes.
Mr. Oscar, yes. Mr. McDivitt.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. We have a stipend request for digital teachers.
Okay, at this time, we're asking for approval of the stipend for digital teachers for our, one teacher took on 2 grade levels, K1, another teacher took on 2 grade levels, 2-3, and then we have 4th and 5th grade teachers who are doing both digital and in-person simultaneously in order to keep numbers low. So as we looked at our budget and met with Mr. Schubert and what we had available and the funds that we freed up, we thought this would be a good thank you for their hard work that they put in this past third quarter.
So, can we ask a question now, or do we have to vote?
Go ahead and ask it.
Is this retroactive?
Yes, this is
Okay.
for third quarter.
Right, okay, because moving forward, they won't be doing that because they're gonna be using Edgementum.
Right, and we're gonna be designating additional teachers of record, but they will not be having to record lessons, plan, or teach video report or teach live. They will be, the teacher of records will look very different, where you might have to transfer grades into our Synergy program. So what we are looking to pay the teacher of record for second semester is $150 a semester, quarter.
Oh, so that's just to kind of monitor and
Yes,
like
it's
with
just kind of a monitor. Yes,
okay, because that's what my son's doing at Walden, he's on the Ingenuity thing.
right. So that it'll look very different for the teachers, because we are expecting all of our digital teachers to come back in person in January. We'll no longer
Okay.
have digital
Gotcha.
responsibilities.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion, please, for the stipend.
I'll motion that we approve the stipend.
I'll second it.
Further discussion?
Would this be another item that could be Prop 301 money? Seems to me that it would fall right into that 013 category.
And the other services?
It, technically, yes, it could be, if that was part of the 301 plan that is board approved, yes.
So I just got information from Ms. Frieden, and she let me know that the governing board approved the 301 plan in May for this school year. So we'll have to go back to our name.
Right, I think we need to probably rediscuss the 301 from how we have it, because right now we have it as, lack of a better word, a bonus. If they fulfill certain things, sitting on committees, going to the foundation thing, et cetera, versus meaning my class came up 10% and all that, which it sounds like you guys might be hinting to, is performance type pay, but that's has never been, at least until now, our reasoning for it.
Well, looks like we can address that in April or May.
Yeah,
So part B is the performance pay, part A and C is the
right, yeah.
category A and C.
Further discussion? Okay, roll call please.
Okay, Ms. Geis,
Yes.
Mr. Ulrich,
Yes.
Mr. Osterly, yes. Mr. McGivern.
Yes.
Right on.
Motion passes, thank you. Okay, now we have Mr. Schubert and a school facilities board update.
So back a few months ago, many board meetings ago, I talked to the board about the wonderful world of the school facilities board. And I told you that I would go ahead and give updates to the board as I had them. So just wanted to let the board know the 4-inch fire pipe that we needed to have replaced has been replaced. By using the SFP, that saved the district $2,300. We are still working on PO approval with Mojave. Mojave has to approve all SFB POs. But in order, once we get the approval with Mojave, we'll get the compressor replaced on the middle school, which will save the district $5,800. We are currently waiting approval from the SFB board to replace one of the 25-ton units on top of the middle school. This project's taking us a little bit longer because when one vendor came in with their bid, they had an ad on there, and when I talked with the SFB about this ad, he said, absolutely go back to all your bidders and have them add it. What it would do is it would add a hot water loop within the unit, which will help us keep it from freezing up. So that project in itself is just over, it's almost $48,000. Or I'm sorry, it's almost $40,000. These 3 projects alone have saved the district just over $47,600. So I just wanted to
Outstanding.
move forward and let you all know what exactly it is we are doing with the SFB and where we're at with those projects.
Can you paint the school too?
So,
We've been fighting over
okay,
this.
okay, so that's actually a good question. The SFB will not do beautification, but
Preservation.
Preservation.
they will do waterproofing. If we can prove that our buildings are leaching water through the walls, the SFB will paint the buildings.
Wow, okay.
I guess it has to rain.
Yeah,
Oh, there is.
yeah, we kind of need that to happen.
Hey, Thursday is 50%, man.
So I will see if I can get somebody from the SFB to come up with their Rylar tube and put it up against the wall to see how much moisture is actually within the wall.
Well, Greg, that is a really great thing that you brought.
Yes, thank you, absolutely. Thank you, sir, I look forward to more reports on that, as we move forward with that. Okay, that's discussion information, we have beyond textbooks, discussion information.
So again, I provided information, I did ask teachers what they were using Beyond Textbooks for, so I included it in, on the memo, and just looking at what we get for Beyond Textbooks for the cost, and entertain any questions that you may continue to have.
could you open that? What is DMS?
Daily math skills. Daily math skills.
Thank you.
So it's a time test that we use, and the information, the assessments come from beyond textbooks, and we keep the data, and we're currently looking at adding that data into Linkit, so again, it'll be another additional source, information for us to know where kids are.
Oh, that's the thing you set out earlier?
Yes,
Okay.
about putting in the binder.
Yeah.
Data binder.
Yes, the DMS, the daily math skills.
Okay, do I have any questions for Mr. Rico?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any report items? Okay. Let's see, let's look at the events. Hard to believe, 2021 around the corner.
Yes, and just like I mentioned, December 16th will be a full day, so we'll make sure that parents know that that's not a half day. December 18th will be early dismissal, and we are canceling our staff holiday party. And everything else is there, stays the same.
Good. Thank you. Governing board information. We'll start at the end. Mr. Osterly, any wisdom?
Just a continuous thank you for you guys keeping it together. This next week and a half or so is gonna be tough. And the only other one I think I want to say is, thank goodness we got the override on the ballot because it was the right time of year to do it. So I'm just glad that we got that done and got the votes that we did. And thank you to anybody that's listening from the public that voted for it.
Thank you.
Just a couple of comments. Again, I also want to express my thanks to the administration for keeping the school open. If you read the article, I think it was in the Arizona Daily Star either yesterday or this morning about the incredible spike in failing grades by kids that are all trying to learn in a virtual environment. The more we keep our kids in class, the more we're going to be way ahead of the curve in comparison to the kids who I really feel for that are trying to do this virtually. Just one item that maybe you could help me with, Deanna. In your email that you send out every Sunday, there's links in there to open stuff up, and it always asks me for, I don't have access or whatever. Is there a way that I can do this stuff?
Yes, I can start making sure that I just have to give you permission with your emails. So I'll make
Okay.
sure to give all of you
Okay.
permission with those emails. Some of them will require, like, for example, the past weekly news, it has some videos to watch on Math NWEA growth, but that would require logins for you all. So we'll have to look into that, because when you click on the link, it'll make you log in, and then the video is
Right.
there.
We can ask for one for the governing board like we did for Beyond Textbooks, how we created that one for you, so we can ask for that.
Okay, okay. I guess lastly, I participated in a 2-hour webinar called Great Leaders, Great Schools, Arizona Summit on Excellence in Education. Governor Ducey kicked this thing off. There were 7 or 8 panelists that went through. Most of it was focused on professional development for principals and what resources are available to build great principals. Although I must say that the vast majority of the emphasis of the entire 2-hour presentation was on equity. That's it for me.
So as I'm watching the reports come out from Fairfax County Public Schools and other schools that are just showing these horrific results of students, it is so cool that you guys have been able to pull this off and keep the school open and keep the kids coming. And I know every day has just got to be as scary as can be when another teacher or student gets sick or faculty or, you know, there's any kind of an issue. So, you know, thanks for, you're showing true resiliency, managing this every day, and I'm really glad for that. Greg, I'm glad that we got our override passed, and if I've done my math correctly, we're good till FY '27.
Yes.
So, yeah, so we won't see any decrease until FY '26.
Correct.
So that will be the
15
first.
we gotta go around.
Which means in 25, we'll start again.
Well, you'll probably do it again in '24, but
Probably.
okay. So, I just wanted to make sure I got that, that we agree on that date. And I hope that our new board member enjoyed the new board member training. It was, we have a new ASBA president, so here's hoping that we're off to a great start next year.
So that was gonna be my question, because usually the onboarding takes place in January. Did it already occur through ASBA?
The new board member orientation was Tuesday,
Okay,
some Tuesday the whatever.
so I wonder if she was notified, because I didn't know about it either. We didn't get any ASB information on that. That's why I was gonna ask for January. But they're typically reported
I don't
too,
think
so
so.
I'll look into it and, because.
Yeah, the new board members at Vail were all there, and then they had a new board member dinner, and it,
Okay. We will definitely look into that to get that onboarding done. One other thing I wanted to ask you, go ahead, just on our board retreat, set a date for that for January, February, when we're making that.
Well, should we do our new board member maybe a month before we jump into a retreat, or do you want to do that maybe early part of February?
We could, when we met with our account specialist for NWEA, we asked if they'd be available for our board retreat to also present some more data and information for our board, so.
Time, do you guys have a good and bad, January, February, or the good and bad times in those months?
I think if we either do late January or early February.
Bolts training is going on again in late January.
Okay,
So
well, let's look into that, and I'll send an email,
Give us a couple options. Huh?
possible times together around Bolts training, because we really need to get to that training as well.
Wow, hard to believe we're in the new year. Almost. Great.
Okay.
I think it's been said, but you guys are amazing. I'm very, very, couldn't be more proud as a parent. The resilience and just the flexibility you guys have to do whatever needs to be done, from serving sandwiches to driving buses to whatever needs to be done. I'm very, very proud of all you guys for your hard work. I know it's not easy, I get that, and you guys should hold your heads high. You're doing a great job, and just keep pushing forward. Because the reality is I think we're about it in terms of schools that are still have their doors open, so at least in the area, so.
We're the only public school in Pima County that is operating
There you go.
every day. And with the high schools going virtual, Walden Grove and Sahuarita, it did provide some relief to poor Mr. Lane in our transportation department, because we're very shorthanded. We did get these 2 new drivers board approved, but we had him and Mr. Nathan driving buses. So again, a true testament of everybody pitching in to get the job done and get our kids transported. So thank you.
Outstanding job. And just real quick, I wanted to, by chance, Sergio, are you on? Did you happen to hop on? No? want to say thanks to Sergio Ariano for his service. We'll miss you, buddy, and we hope that you stop by and don't be a stranger. Thank you so much for what you've done for Continental. And we wish you the best moving forward.
I just wanted to say a special thank you to our attendance clerk and registrar, Ms. Jenna and Ms. Eva. They've been working around the clock, and Christina too, trying to find subs and working with our employees when things come up, as they come up on the weekends. We're sometimes messaging at midnight, Saturday mornings at 7 a.m., just trying to make sure everything's set and ready to go for the upcoming week. So I want to, especially thank them.
Everybody's been doing their part.
Yeah.
so.
You know, you're right, because I made it hard for her too, because I told her that my daughter wasn't coming back after Thanksgiving, and oops, we had a little change of mind, but, who knows what to think in these days, anyway.
Well, we appreciate the fruit basket.
At least I do, yeah.
Your peace offering of the fruit
Right?
basket is very well received, and we have parents who have dropped off donuts
Oh,
and
good.
cookies to us to just say
Yeah.
thank you, so it's very nice.
So again, thanks, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And here's to a much better 2021. How's that?
Right on.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
With that, we will recess to sign quite a few documents.
Mr. McGibbon, on the budget, there is a tab in the back for you to sign off on the summary page. Yeah, it's on the very last page.
So these all go to signature.
These all get a signature, and then your signature on the very last page. Anywhere on there.
It used to be blue, it's not.
It does not.
Doesn't matter.
Old wives' tale.
Albert, is the live stream off?
That,